Mic test. Hello, my name is Lucy Empress. I am a spoken word performing and recording artist from Nakuru. Yeah, and I believe that I'm a voice in today's generation, Yeah. So this piece is titled Culture is Key. Though she performs with flat shoes, she believes that her poetry can still heal, shifting guys from the real world away from the troubled thoughts just to make her poetry appear as appeal. So I'll teach you something. In poetry, we don't clap, but we snap. Maybe kindly you can snap. Yeah. Sina chorus, but I'm God's product. I'm projecting my voice, ningeenjoy sana kujiona on the projector. But before that, I want you to see beyond the propeller. Na ikibidi, I'm even ready to sing you songs of a cappella so that this message can stay with you forever. But you see, I don't want to sing you songs like Pamela, Merimela, ama Ata Nerea, so I choose to talk. Just listen to my tone. You see, lazima niwe na driving license ndo ni drive my point home. So culture is key. Today, I was told to proudly introduce myself as an African. Now, keeping in mind on the cultural diversity in place, you see, I had to make sure that no one felt out of place. Now, confusion in disguise had to take place as man got curious and worked in hand as they yearned to reach their maker. But you see, as they were building the tower, they were struck back to reality, divided into different linguistic groups, a sign that we ought to focus more on understanding our differences in place of building the tower. Now, living in peace, you see, over time we get to celebrate the 58 ethno-linguistic groups. Now, culture is key. Mwachamila ni mtumwa, but now let's get back to our culture, our indigenous knowledge, which as much as we are enlightened to the modern culture, as we grew being taught, you see, this knowledge still sticks. Now, this one is inborn. Hii ni story, sio lazima uwe online. I'm sure no one will be left hanging. Culture being a free given gift, sio lazima ukuwe na net for us to work. But this knowledge became common as we got to network while living in close contact with nature, and as wished, this ought to reflect new wealth, good health. But welcome to my motherland, where vitu kwa ground ni different. Now culture shouts, since when? Since when did we get trapped by embracing the foreign cultures, yet we fail to tap to our own cultures? This generation that I can dish managu, mrenda, ndoma, ngwashe, sageti, and be placed in accordance to class of not having a better choice. Yet we can quickly attest that these are the first sale foods in the foreign lands. Now, without any questions, it's evident that culture is the foundation of every nation. Ironically, sisi ndio wenyeji yet we point fingers kwa wale daktari wa mitishamba. Eti siwezi tumia dawa za kienyeji, stereotype ni eti watasema mimi ni mshamba. Yet this might be that solution to that one problem just after drinking that concoction. Now may we not perish as we ought to embrace our culture. And if they ask you how natural you went, proudly attest that all this is perceived from home. So in this life, let us live it to the fullest. Wabaki wakisema they were full of wisdom teeth. That's why they wrote books. That's why they did the live performances. Call me an artist and I'll tell you what art is. Ask me what I love to do at home, at school, at Nakuru Players Theatre, at heart. And I'm the best runner, Lucy Empress. That's why I've just run out of words. Culture is key. Shukran.
Time. Our chief guest, former CJ, David Maraga, teacher Tabichi, my director, invited guests, Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I'm Madam Mutua, Principal Bomasan. Many things have been said, and I think almost everything has been said about Nyantino. As a child by the family, as a scholar by the other scholars, mine is just, I have just a few remnants of items, maybe to comment one or two about Mr. Nyantino. We share a slightly long history. We went to the same college, that is Kenyatta University, those years of A-level. But as you can see, I'm a bit senior to him. I was in the third year when he was in the first year. And again, we met at Bomasan, where he's a member of my staff, a very hard-working teacher. There's something which has not been mentioned. This guy can critique. He's a great, he can critique policies, he can critique my policies at the school, and his writing. Which sometimes as a principal, you know you want to be a dominant. He does not give me that space. And that is why maybe I might be doing something there because Ananiskuma. Sindio? Yeah. Those are the great minds, great brains. Because if somebody is just supporting everything you say, then you are likely to go very near, isn't it? But when people critique you, they give you the opportunity, they show you where you are supposed to be, and that is why what he is. And because of that, I always call him my age mate, just to dilute it. When they critique, he has a talent. Because we are almost age mates, but me senior, he has a talent. And a talent is usually very easy to achieve it. A talent. You don't struggle with the talents. If you have a talent in singing like those young men here, it just flows. And Mr. Nyantino has a talent. He has that inborn gift from God. What he needs is just the opportunity to explore his talent. Actually, as confirmed, is a practicing teacher of geography and history. Surprisingly, KCSE 2020 is 2 subjects led in the school. Makofi muzuri, sindio? As a principal, I cannot be happy here and just launching books, isn't it? Yeah? I'm worried about my miniscope, and my director is here. Yeah? So, he has led. The talent does not influence the work you do negatively. Actually, in any case, at Bomasan Secondary School, we have actually a very vibrant journalism club, which he is the patron. At Makofi Muzuri, when we are making journalists at the school level, that is what we do. We need a very active what? Journalism club. Therefore, I'm sure in a few years, because I'm there also, as he's pushing me, tit for tat, I'm also pushing him. So that I can have 1 or 2 saying that they come from Bomasan. What we have there is not a name of a school. It's children learning, isn't it? Doesn't matter where you go. The name of the school does not matter. What matters is the education picked from that particular school. And therefore, in this occasion, Mr. Nyantino, I wish to thank you sincerely from bringing up or having that mini school which we had this year. And I hope after the launch, you are motivated and the mini school will go up. Isn't it? And I'm here supporting you with the members of staff. Bomasan. Bomasan, are you here? Yeah, they are there. We are here in numbers in support of our very own and the only one writer we have. Mr. Nyantino, now you have a challenge. And the challenge is to mentor the students. Identify their talents like your father did. The father was pushing him to do English. That is what he told me. And at one point he was disappointed because he did not take English at the university. But now, having recollected, na unanjua tunasema wasee wako na maarifa. Si huyo mzee nimesikia anaitwa John, si alikuwa na maarifa? He has gone back to the center and started writing what the father had just recommended, isn't it? You should not actually have done that English. Therefore, I want you to mentor the students at Bomasan, identify their talents, develop it, nurture it, mentor and coach it, so that those mentored ones can also mentor others in the country. And I believe through your books, you are going to do a very good mentoring. And I just want to second the many voices which said that our honorable director, this book can be, I've read it, it qualifies to be a set book in Kenya, in honor of our teachers. Secondly, the scholarship recommended by Kupet. This guy is young enough to read books. If he can write a 600-page novel, he can read and get that PhD. Tunaomba scholarship. Thirdly, we have the CBC. And one of the pathways is sports and performing arts. This guy can be at KICD developing curriculum designs for our young children in Kenya. So that I will not be selfish at Bomasan. We can share with the other Kenyans. So please, Bwana Director, you can carry that one forward for us. Is a natural MC at Bomasan. Only hapa niliona akona tension kidogo. Unajua siku ikiwa ya mtu anakuwa na tension kidogo. But is a natural MC. And what I want to say is that Nyantino explore. You have a talent, a gift, free gift from God. Write and write. And write and write again. Sawa sawa. Endelea kuandika. Mentor my students to go to the university to write when you are not there. Okay? They will be writing on your behalf because you have mentored them. We are remembering people like Aristotle. None of us in this hall saw Aristotle. But because he wrote, is remembered, isn't it? Great men who wrote, their passion, fiction, vision, mission of the time was carried forward to this day. So Mr. Nyantino, write. Your aspirations will be read by many 1,000 years to come when my talk is gone, because I'm not writing it. So you'll be remembered. And that what you are writing will make a difference those times. Are we together? So you should write. To the others like me who do not know how to write, we got a different gift. We did not get that one of Nyantino. Mungu anajua kungawa. Anangawia kila mtu chenye anaweza mbeba. Kwa hivyo yeye akapewa vitabu. I like talking. So if at all I could actually be tasked to write, to me is a big task. So Mr. Nyantino, as you write, we know writing makes the ultimate difference. The rest of us, we continue supporting you. And in that case, I'm going to buy 100 copies. In addition to the ones I had bought first, so that I can promote you to the rest of us. Buy the book. Make another person read the book. Make that person read the book. As he reads the book, he'll get his own copy and support this young man of today to be a great man. Thank you so much. May God bless you, our attendant member.
I still want to recognize all of you, all protocols observed. I want to thank the Nyantino family led by the Mama, the Gogo, who is present up to now and very attentive. I want to say that this was a very good evening, our guest of honor, because we have learned a number of things. Apart from the inspiration we've gotten from Mwalimu Gichaba, we have also been entertained by our youths here. And for once, I looked around, I said, Kumbe, we're in the right place, called Players Theater. And we should have been charged some entrance fees as we are going in. But because we are not charged, I want to request that all of us, as we're going out, we transfer that to the books that are in the stand. And we pick a copy and pick others as we order more. There are just a few here, so we can justify that. I want to say that today I've learned something. It has been stated somewhere that all dreams are valid, but I've also seen its life today. And I think I've been encouraged that it's possible we can make it in whatever directions. I've also known that Kumbe, we have some hidden talents that we are not exploiting. He's a teacher of history and geography, but look at what he's doing. Calling the shots amongst the current African writers. Congratulations, Mwalimu, and the sky is the limit. I've also noted that in our little ways, we can change the world. In our little ways, we can change the world. As you listen to the speech from the brothers, the cousins, and what they got from their family and their home ground, and all this, and what it has impacted the world, there's something we can do, each one of us that is here, and we can change the world. I noted that this book, he had given me one copy, and I went through it, but I don't want to go through the preview or the epilogue. But I say it touches on a relevant theme within ourselves, not only amongst our youth, in our families, but even in our children. And I want to say that the self-identification, discovering your identity, is a big thing, even in adults, And this makes this book very relevant to us, our Chief Justice. And we'll make recommendations where possible for this book to be acquired by our schools for readers in the library. But not only that, to propose it for what people have suggested here as one of our set books. Now that it has made to a school edition, it is possible that it will fit there. One, we must submit a copy to KICD to start looking at it, and then we get a preview or epilogue from one of our renowned professors or teachers of literature. I'm happy that Professor Muka was here and he said he's going to do something about it and give a very good review, which we can now submit to KICD together with the book. And with the recommendations and review, I believe that this is a book that is relevant for our students and we should highly recommend it as education officers. Ladies and gentlemen, I want also to thank you people who have spoken before us here briefly. I was particularly touched with what Professor said, that now look also at ethics and integrity in the Constitution, but how do we make it relevant to our young leaders? Because that's now our biggest issue, a big issue in our country. A number of times we see what our children are doing and we say the society is doing like that. We say the teachers are doing like that. We say the neighbors are doing like that. But one thing I've also learned today, that the child starts from a family and then it goes to a clan. Then from the clan now it goes to the society and it goes to the nation. And if you look at the background that was said here, Teacher John Nyantino was a disciplinarian. He was honest and a guy of integrity. They talked about their mother who was also present here. Disciplinarian, honest, and a mother of integrity. If we reflect back in our family, our children today, are we giving that background from our homes so that when they go out in the society, they become the better persons we want? We have seen the character of Gichaba. We've seen the character of Ben. He's mentioned the sister, how they were brought up as a family. I want to attest here that the first level that we change our children is in the family. It's in the family. If we don't change this child in the family, then when he goes out, he'll not make any difference. He'll just be a bad guy. If all families will do their work, then all our children will be good children. And that's what we need to do. I know there are so many other extraneous factors, so many other factors, but the family must hold up the children to bring up the children. And I want to encourage Mwalimu that do for us something on integrity, ethics, that will also influence our young readers so they can depart from us and they become better persons in these nations. Are you aware that our children today derives pleasure in doing the wrong thing? They derive pleasure in making somebody unhappy, so that when it is even burning, he feels he should burn so that other children suffer. If you look at the burning school, it's not the whole school. You find there are 5 children, 6 children. From such families, they derive pleasure in hurting others. Why? Because maybe from the family that they come from. If we can hold them there, then we'll make it. We'll make it, and it will be possible. And I want to say that our children today does not have a feeling at all. They don't have a feeling. They don't have a feeling. That we used to be told that you must say sorry to somebody, you must assist somebody when he's in need, you must thank God for somebody. It's no longer there. No feeling at all. And somebody who does not have a feeling is somebody who lacks ethics and can even kill you. I watched some social media that was circulating where a preacher was talking about us rearing tigers. Did you watch that? Raising tigers and tigresses. They're in the schools where they're causing mayhem, but soon they'll come back home and they'll be with you for 40 or so years. Mama Yukabeth, you are happy that your children, whom you've stayed with 40 years, are only giving you happiness and pleasure, and you feel nice being in their company, feel nice being in something they're achieving, because you brought them well. To our parents that are not bringing their children well, 40 years down the line, you will be crying in the toilet. You'll be wishing you never gave birth to these children. So let's take back and make sure that we raise our children and we ensure that discipline starts from our home. Are you aware that for the short time the children were at home, when they were reporting back from home, a number of them came with bang? They were hitting bang in their whatever, matitis, with their brazier, because they know teachers don't touch there. They were bang there. Some came with alcohol, and some came with everything. From where? Home. So when a child tells you that I want to go home, we want to go home, what he's saying is not that the school environment is bad. What he's telling you is that home environment is so carefree. They smoke, they drink, they do whatever they want, so they want to go back there. I want to urge our parents that let us hold hands together and make discipline start with your child at home, and then it will influence the whole society. Sorry for digressing, but I want to thank you very much for this opportunity. I'm relatively new in this huge province, but I've tried to walk around, and I believe that together we are going to achieve much. We want to urge Bwana Gichaba that model others and motivate others and show them that it's possible the way we've done. With those so many remarks, ladies and gentlemen, let us stand up and welcome our Honorable Chief Justice Emeritus to come and also address us.
Thank you very much. Please sit down. I want to appreciate our pastor who started by setting the stage for this occasion. The children from Elite Educational Center, Mr. Nyantino, you're doing a wonderful job. Such a young minds getting to this stage, it means a lot for them. The bands, starting with the one which gave us a piece of Sirisopendwa, it reminded me of the days we used to hear that piece at 5 a.m. in the morning from KBC to wake us up so that we could go to work. And the last band, I must confess that it's the first time I saw voice being turned into instruments. Wonderful. wonderful piece there. Recently, we were visited by some young girl from England in our home. So in the course of the conversation, my wife asked her what she's studying, and she said, dancing. My wife pardoned her several times. What is dancing? Until she had to do this for her to appreciate what she was saying. What am I talking about? We have talent here. Young people using their voice as instruments, and you might even find that they have not been to any university to do that. Thank you, young people. We have great talent. There is this little lady here, the spoken word lady. Great, great. I want to appreciate Kupet, the Rift Valley. Is it Rift Valley or Nakuru Kupet? For this wonderful support of your own. They are the ones who came to pick me from the Rift Valley Sports Club to tell me that you are ready. Madam, is it Mutua? Madam Mutua. Thank you very much. You know, we have few people of Ms. Mutua's humility. Why do I say that? She accepts critiques. Others would, as you said, be victimizing those who come. Because you want to shine, you want to be the only one who is shining, and the others should be behind you. That's great humility, and for me, that's a great mind. Thank you very much. I also want to appreciate Mama Yukabeth. One thing that Mwalimu Nyantino and his brother didn't tell us is that he used to beat them. That one, given their success, that one goes without saying. That she beat them, and that's why they are what they are. Mr. Mutua, is it Mr. Mutua? The Director of Education, Mr. Obiero. Let's accept some of these things. The ladies do a lot in the bringing up of children. Without them, some of us would not be what we are. So ladies, I want to appreciate you. We have our bit to play, but the actual, the lawyers say that where the tire meets the road, the ladies are the ones who are there, and they do a wonderful job to bring up our children. In my previous work, whenever I found myself in an audience of Englishmen, I always give a disclaimer so that they may understand, but I don't need to give one here. If you listen keenly, you may not have heard some of the pronunciations. If you listen carefully to what, as Mr. Michoma spoke, as Dr. Manduku spoke, as Mwalimu Tabichi himself spoke, you would get the Kisii dialect. Is that the correct term? Yes, from theirs. The reason for that is that in the Kisii language, Mwalimu, you will correct me if I'm wrong, we do not have some letters of the alphabet. And as a result, if you are introduced to me and you find me saying it is my great pleasure to meet you, Please understand it's because we don't have L in our language. Mwalimu Nyantino, the Regional Director of Education, Mr. Biero, Mwalimu Tabichi, the officials of Kenya Union of Post-Primary Education Teachers, Nakuru Branch, senior government officials, Nakuru County officials, teachers and the students here present, the organizing committee, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good evening once again. I don't know whether I need to really say much. You've made my speech. If I had given it to anybody, I would have thought that there has been some plagiarism here. But I know why. It's because we are actually talking about the same thing. So it's quite interesting. So if you find I'm repeating some of the things that have been said, you understand why. Thanks, Mr. Nyantino, for the invite. It's a great honor for me to come and be in this audience. Before I became CJ, I used to address very few people, the litigants in my court. So public speaking is not one of the things I learned. You must have seen I was struggling most of the time whenever I spoke in public. But that is it. We were all not made orators. I'm delighted to join you here today, this evening, on this auspicious occasion of launching one of Kenya's latest books, The Winding Road, by Mwalimu Nyantino. I'm happy to join you here today to celebrate this great milestone that has been undertaken by none other than Mr. Nyantino, a humble but focused high school teacher in this great county of Nakuru. It is not often that we congregate to take part in an intellectually stimulating event such as the launch of this book. This evening is therefore very special to me, as I suppose it is to all of you here, because we are gathered here to celebrate a great milestone that I trust will significantly improve the seriously challenged reading culture of our young people, some of whom have also joined us here this evening. Most of you are parents, ladies and gentlemen. I've spoken to students in secondary schools and universities. We have a problem with the reading culture. There is one great book they read. They all read, and this, in most cases, it's the only book they read. Facebook. It is a serious challenge, ladies and gentlemen, in our society. I've chaired interviews for quite a number of years. You get young people coming for an interview, and you know they can't express themselves. Believe it or not, they can't express themselves. They switch from speaking English to Sheng very easily. Very easily. And it's because you realize that what he wants to say, he lacks the right words. So he switches over. Why am I saying that? That's why I said this work is a milestone in the seriously challenged reading culture of our children these days. 3 weeks ago, Mwalimu Nyantino paid me a visit to share the genesis of his writing and the journey he has traveled. His story pleasantly reminded me that in this great county of Nakuru, we do have great and illustrious writers, of which is one of them. I say this because I believe he's not the only great writer. The difference between you others and Mr. Nyantino is that you have not taken the trouble to try and write. These things don't just come. You need to take trouble and start writing. Mr. Nyantino said that writing is a very lonely exercise. I have not written a book, I'm coming to that. But I have written judgments. And I can affirm to the fact that writing is a lonely business. I don't want to tell you the hours I spent alone writing some judgments. You can guess one. I slept an average of 2 hours during that week. So, Mr. Nyantino, this is great. And as I said, my dear friends, other teachers, the difference is that you have not seriously thought about it and taken the trouble to write something. And if you do, you could easily find that you are on the same caliber, if not higher, Mr. Nyantino. Don't rule it out, if not higher than what Mr. Nyantino has done. Mr. Nyantino is not only a good writer. He doubles up, as he has been already said, as a high school teacher of geography and English, and history. During Mr. Nyantino's visit, he shared with me the highs and lows he has waded through as he put together the book that we are celebrating today. I learned that besides teaching, Mr. Nyantino has been writing consistently for now over 20 years. So far, he has written 3 complete novels that have already been shown here, and the 4th one is in the pipeline. Over and above the commendable effort he has put, he has just completed a manuscript of poetry and short stories to be published soon. He has also teamed up with his siblings. And in this one, I would wish one of them takes the lead to put together their father's biography, which we should expect soon. Is it Ben? Your brother Ben? Is he here? Ben, you may wish to take the lead so that we know that the others in the Nyantino family can also write. The year 2004 marked a turning point for Mr. Nyantino's writing skills. As we have been told, his short story titled The Talking Pot was shortlisted from a pool of over 500 writers for the Macmillan Writers' Prize for Africa Award. By any standards, this was no mean feat for a high school teacher. This was indeed a huge morale booster that gave him the impetus to start writing the novel that we are launching today. Mr. Nyantino's passion for writing isn't just felt within our borders, as has already been stated. The prolific writer is trying to secure his space in the global arena, and I think he has already done that. His works have been bought and read globally, while others have attracted the attention of the literary scholars in some renowned universities, which have churned out academic dissertations and book reviews based on his works, besides the scholarly acclaim and the blurbs it has received. Quite a feat for a classroom teacher who has a lot to do, to get time to do that. The book we are launching today is the local edition of the first novel. As you have been told, the 600-page international edition of this novel is available on one of the world's largest online retailers, the Amazon. His second novel, targeting teenage readers, titled The Silent Voice, is also available on the Amazon. What this means is that wherever you are around the world, you can access and read Mr. Nyantino's books. We are going digital. Mr. Nyantino, you talked about writing first before you type. You change that. You change that, you will write a lot more books if you do that. I will tell you, if we have time, I will tell you, I started typing. It's an experience, and I was forced into typing. I'm not a very fast typer, but typist. But I can assure you that the time you spend shoving back your draft to your typist, it would be well spent if you typed. Mr. Nyantino's passion and hard work vividly reminds me of one of our national goals of education, promoting individual development and self-actualization. Indeed, our education system should provide opportunities for the development of young people, of our young people's potential to the fullest. It is therefore gratifying to note that Mr. Nyantino has, in a small way, endeavored to fulfill this national goal, and I have no doubt that he is already an inspiration to his students and many young people around the country through his writing. As we celebrate Mr. Nyantino's achievements this evening, it is important to note that this achievement it's important to note how this achievement has been realized. Over the last 2 decades, Mr. Nyantino developed a clear plan, complete with passion and persistence for his writing. It is because of that determination that we are here to launch his book this evening. I'm sure his students from Bomasan Secondary School, as well as his colleagues in the noble teaching profession, are already proud of him. One would have thought that with the inordinate time he dedicates to writing, his professional duties may be compromised. Far from that, as we have already been told,